Good morning, madam. I'm Padmini Parameswaran, C21A2412, and my groupmate is Rishika Jaganada, C21A2417. Today we are going to present a book review. The book we have chosen is Before I Go to Sleep.
The author of the novel Before I Go to Sleep is S.J. Watson. This novel is a fiction novel. This novel full of thriller and suspense. This novel contains 368 pages, and the novel Before I Go to Sleep published by Doubleday in United Kingdom and Harper Collins in United States.
Now, let's move to introduction to the story. Before I Go to Sleep is a suspenseful thriller about a lady who has a severe kind of amnesia, which means she loses most of her memories every time she sleeps and wakes up believing she is still in her 20s. She has no memory of the event that caused her amnesia or that the guy she wakes up next to every day is her husband, Ben. Ben explained the scenario to Christine every morning, and Christine keeps herself occupied around the house until Ben returns home from his work. She gets a call one day from a young doctor who wants to help her retrieve her memories. Christine begins to meet him in secret because her husband will not allow her to see any more doctors for fear full of further distressing her. And he proposed that Christine begin writing a diary of all she learns each day so that she can read it back to herself later. Christine began to recall more of her life in this fashion, and she reread as earlier journal entries. She begins to mistrust the people she trusts and wonder who is telling the truth. She is search for a memory in the subject of the story.
And this book, Before I Go to Sleep, begins with a conversation between Dr. Nash and Christian. As he returns Christian's journal, she had been writing in it for a few weeks and had finally decided that it was time for Dr. Nash to see it, despite the fact that when she awoke that morning, she had no idea recall of ever handing him the notebook or even knowing it existed. This exchange is quickly followed by Christine's journal entries, and it concludes with Christine's back in the present dealing with the events that occur after she reads her diary. We are continuously veiled in mist as we make our way through this tale since the main character is an amnesiac. There are so many secrets and it's nearly difficult to predict what will happen next because Christian can't remember anything. Something is clearly wrong in Christian's life, but you have no idea what is it because it's impossible to distinguish who is speaking the truth and who is not.
I'm Rishika Jagannatha, C21A2417. Next, we move to the main characters of the story. Kirsten Lucas. Kirsten Lucas is a 47-year-old woman who suffered terrible assault that left her with brain damage. For the past 18 years, Kirsten has been unable to retain new memories. At first, Kirsten's memories would last only seconds, but over the years, she has recovered enough to retain memories disappearing with deep sleep overnight. Next is Ben, Christine Lucas' real husband. And then Ben slash Mike, an imposter who acts like Christine. Lucas' husband Ben. Mike Nash, known as Dr. Nash. Mike Nash is Christine Lucas' neuropsychologist who helps her to retain her past memories. Setting of the story. First, house. The protagonist wakes up in her bedroom every day with no knowledge of who she is. Second, hotel. The place where attacks Christine. Next, plot of the story. The story follows a woman with anterograde amnesia in a psychological thriller. Every day she wakes up with no idea who she is, and the narrative follows her as she tries to piece together her memories from a journal she has kept. She discovers that she has been seeing a doctor who is assisting her with her memory recovery, that her name is Christine Lucas, that she is 47 years old, married, and has a son. As she strives to learn who she truly in her journal, raises doubt on the veracity of this information. Why we choose the book and story? Because it is one of the best psychological book that we have ever read. The protagonist deals with a neuropsychological problem called amnesia, and this book shows she managed her problems despite having issues. Conclusion to the story. As the narrative progresses, we learn more and more details about Kirsten's background, but it's still unclear whether her memories are genuine or just dreams. Although none of the characters are very likable, you do sympathize with Christine. Before I Go to Sleep is written in the first person, so you know precisely how Christine is feeling at any one time. And she is the only character with whom you can truly identify. Due to the limited numbers of characters, this book is incredibly dramatic, and I was completely absorbed while reading it. Imagine yourself as a reader accumulating more and more jigsaw pieces as you progress through the book, but you have no idea what the bigger image is until you reach the finish. I read this book at breakneck speed because I was determined to learn the truth. The climax took me completely by surprise, and you are literally second guessing everything till the very end. I would strongly advise anybody and everyone to read the book. I'm not a big lover of thrillers, but this one is one of the most intriguing and gripping I've ever read. That's all from us. Thank you for watching this video.